What's up, man? So I'm gonna make this recording very generic. So to keep it short and sweet, we are going to look at a couple scenarios that I put together for you. The first one is gonna be, if you can see it, it is gonna be a $400,000 purchase. You asked me what it would be like bare bones. So basically, everything, I didn't get the fees on this one, but I'll break it down for you. So these are estimates. The taxes and hazard insurance, those are estimates. Okay. We don't know what the property taxes are going to be because we don't know which property you bought. We don't know if you bought in, Otay Ranch, which has really high taxes versus if you bought in, I don't know, Valley Center, taxes are pretty low. I don't know where else taxes are pretty low, but you get the point. So, in Otay Ranch, in Canyon Lake, Temecula, those are 2% property tax areas. So that would be significantly higher. This is a 1.25% illustration. Do I have the loan up? So you can see it here. This is what I'm talking about. This is an estimate. 1.19, 1.21 is usually where most houses land in San Diego County. But like I said, if you buy, somewhere that's newer, the taxes may have Melrose. They might just have higher taxes. Homeowners insurance, this is also a very high estimate because if you're buying something in an HOA, this is more than likely going to come down to maybe 50, 60 bucks. Okay, so as far as a loan officer has no authority on telling you really what the homeowner's insurance or the property taxes is going to be, because we don't really know. The homeowner's insurance, if you live out near me in Valley Center, you're going to pay an extra couple $100 a month because of fire insurance. If you live up on Palomar Mountain, which is behind me, you're going to pay between $300 and $400 a month extra in fire insurance. I can show you the quotes. Anyway, so back to the subject at hand. What is my payment going to be? So because it is a 620 FICO, anything from a 620 to 639 is the same. And then from 640 to 659, it's the same. So they're 20-point increments starting at 620 and then 640. And that's the one, 20 points. Anyway, so you can see here, 400,000. Now, why are there two different payments on here? Because one, you're paying a lower interest rate, right? But in order to pay that lower interest rate, you have to, the bank is going to make less money. So they want to make, the bank is going to make less interest. So they're going to want to make their interest up front, which is where you get discount or origination fees or lender fees or however it's discussed. They are fees to lower the price of the rate. I'll get into a bigger illustration later. But right now for these two, because of the way that the pricing works, you're getting a small rebate on your closing costs. Your closing costs is what's going to add up to all this stuff. Okay, so for a 620, somebody with a 620 credit score, if they can find something in Southern California at 400 grand with no HOA, this would be their payment. Okay, so realistically, the closing cost isn't going to change, but the monthly payment will. And that will subtract from your DTI. So your debt to income ratio, which is right here, needs to be between 45 and 55. So that means for a $450,000 house, if you're going to have $400 a month in HOA, you need to make at least $81.66 a month in qualifying income. This is all a sample quote. This is all very fluid situation. And in order to close on this house, you would need $14,000 in the bank. Because you have a 620 credit score, it is possible that the lender could lay out a guideline that you need to have 2 months extra, 2 months reserve in the bank. So that means that you would need to have, or it depends on the bank. The bank can say no reserve. The bank can say 6 months reserve. That's a bank guideline, okay? Because the VA might not have that guideline, but because the VA doesn't lend money, the bank lends money, they get to give what's called overlays. Okay, so an overlay would be a 6 month reserve or a 2 month reserve. So because you're 620, yeah, that's not right. I need to change that. But because you're 620, you would need to have an extra after we close. you would need to have an extra $7,200 in the bank. So in order to close, you would need to be able to show the funds to close, which is funds to close, plus 2 months reserve. So that means like 22K in the bank. So back to the written estimates. That was just an illustration of debt to income ratio. So for VA loans, your debt to income ratio needs to be 45 and 55%. So that loan would work. Now let's go to something a little bit more realistic. 450, and where's the HOA? So we got $450,000 worth of house. That's probably a 2-bedroom in San Diego. Maybe a 3-bedroom if you can find it. You know, it's going to be on the outskirts. But it doesn't really have a huge effect on closing costs adding an HOA, because that's a monthly fee. There's no need for a reserve account or an escrow account on an HOA. The reason that your cash to close or your closing costs and everything else are, you know, expensive is because there are closing costs. Okay, these aren't estimated fees. These are, you know, percentage based on what we typically see. Some of them are fixed payments. The appraisal fee, for example, you know, those prices are probably going up soon. So it's gonna be $600 to $800. All of these are estimates. The one thing that I do want to draw your attention to is property taxes and insurance. Because right here, if you look at it, you have to pay 6 months worth of property taxes up front. So that's almost $3,000. Plus you have to pay 12 months worth of hazard insurance premium. What the hell is that? That's homeowners insurance. And then you also have to pay an extra 3 months worth of property insurance. So or property taxes, and then an extra 6 months of homeowners insurance. That's a lot. It should be like 2 months, an extra month or two here, an extra 3 months here. So this is it's an overestimate. But and then the other thing that's important too is you're getting paid prepaid. You have to pay all these fees per diem. So prepaid interest, prepaid taxes, or per diem taxes and per diem insurance of the day of the month in which you close. So anyway, getting back to this goes into an account called an escrow account. Your property taxes and your homeowner's insurance will be paid from this escrow account. Okay. Supplemental taxes is something you should Google, and I'll make another video about that. But in order, for the most part, your property taxes and your property insurance, your homeowner's insurance, is going to come out of the escrow account. In order for money to come out of there, you need to start the escrow account with this large deposit, because taxes are due twice a year. I think it's March and November, I forget. And then, so taxes are due twice a year, and then you have to get the best deal. The lender wants to pay the insurance premium all in one shot and a 12-month period. And then because I think you're supposed to close, when does this have a close date? No. Okay. So if you close in, today's May. So if you close today, right, your first payment wouldn't be until July 1st. So you need to have paid for all of the rest of May and all of June for property taxes and homeowners insurance. And that's why those deposits are there too. So now that I've explained a little bit more about closing costs, you have an idea of, you know, why it's so expensive to get into a house. Now, how could you do away with some of the closing costs? Again, it goes back to interest rate. So from basically where's the other one? This is it. So this is the same thing with no HOA. See right here, principal and interest, taxes, hazard insurance, homeowners insurance, and no HOA. Let me close this out because that's bugging me. So you can see your $400, it's $400 cheaper here, but where are you going to find something in Southern California for less than $450,000? So yeah, so as far as your specific question, yes, I can beat their rate, and yes, he can get a better deal with me to make the video short.